when I ask people, what is God most known for? And well, he's a God of love. He's a God of, and it's depending on who you speak to, you're going to get many different answers. But I think the one that is most profound that you can see from Genesis to Revelation is that he's a God of justice.
In his latest book, Awaken, Glenn Henderson dives into God's ultimate concern and the importance of treating one another justly. This segment of Awaken shines a spotlight on what the church's response should be in addressing these critical issues, offering thought-provoking insight for reflection and action.
The thing that really gets, and this is also very important to people to understand when we talk about the elections and character and all the other things, when what gets God's attention is less of Glenn's own personality and sinful nature, but when my personality and sinful nature starts to affect other people, that gets his attention. And so we see that almost universally through all of Scripture, where when it comes to other people, that's when God is concerned. And so in this context of unity, and in this context of the separation, how we treat one another, and that's why Jesus prayed that they be one. How we treat one another, and people stumble over when we talk about economics, the have and the have-nots. It's not that God is interested. That whenever I talk to the haves, I say God does not need His money, and it's a little pause there because He owns it all. You need His money, and it's not that everyone. Paul talks about this in the book of Corinthians that. Equality is not everybody having the same thing. And I saw this when I was reading in Exodus, when he said with the manna, he said, he who had much did not have too much, and he who had little did not have too little. And so the concept is, it's okay, you can have your 5, 6, 7 houses, that's fine, there's no big deal. The problem, though, is you may have your 5, 6, 7 houses and a boat and all these, and your private jet, and that's all cool, but there's somebody right across the street next to you who has nothing, or who's on a poverty line, and we aren't addressing that. So it's not that we all are to have the same thing, but he who had much didn't have too much, and he who had little didn't have too little. That is the equality. That is where we see this in the church, unfortunately, where there's a significant separation. And then I go back to what I said before, and it's just interesting how the people who have not, and by the way, there's a much larger group of have-nots than the group of haves, that they seem to be a certain group, and particularly we will call them minority groups.